Soul Sea Gathering is a traveling gathering for women, and we're traveling to a new country each time to bring light and awareness to the female side of Indigenous culture around the world, the women's wisdom traditions that have just been out of sight, a little bit in the shadows, not out in the light because they've not been important in this system. We're bringing light and awareness to these beautiful women's wisdom traditions so that we can grow and we can also elevate them for doing this important work of protecting the earth. With this recent gathering, we've been in Colombia and we've been able to learn from the Kogi and the Wayu women. The Wayu are these strong women who are still the leaders of the household. They're earning the money, the name is getting passed down to the children, and they're embodying this beautiful strength and resilience that it's taken to still hold space on a land. And the Kogi are these beautiful, wise people who have been holding such sacred space in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta where we are. And for so long while I was researching, all I was learning about was the men, the mamos, the spiritual leaders, and the women weren't so important in the society or the culture that the men were holding this position and the women were there in the household and with the children. What I'm learning again and again and again, that there's medicine women everywhere you go in the world. You just have to look a little bit deeper. And here we had the beautiful opportunity to learn from Haba Teresa, Milena, Haba Josefina, Carolina, and to share their wisdom through this embodied way, which is beyond the intellect. We can do all the research that we want to share this knowledge that's still in existence of the way things are, the way things have been. But the way of the feminine is also way more through the feeling and through understanding, through spirit and connection and relating with one another. So what we learned from these women weaving and sharing these sacred tools, this sacred ritual, was so much more than it looks on the surface. The strength of these women, the ability to say no, to hold space, to just like deflect our questions because we're missing the point when we're asking for more. In fact, they're sharing everything with us just through their presence, talking about needing to just clear our thoughts and our minds, clearing the mind and seeing all the beauty and all the good and how we can show up and be part of it. It's so important that we all find our purpose in this moment of time. And this can be in small ways. This can be just simply showing up and holding space for our family, for our loved ones, for the earth, for our own little patch of garden that we have. When we've had this privilege of sitting with these women and just being in their presence, it's greater than we can even begin to imagine. We've set something in motion here which is so powerful because it's changing the very fabric of their society, of the way they live. It's a huge responsibility to shine light to these people, but also needed because they are protecting our earth. And we need their help, we need their wisdom, we need their perspective. We need to reintegrate this way of connection, this way of community, this way of finding beauty in the slow rhythm, the slow, mundane, small things, finding this way of clearing our thoughts and connecting to beauty as women, which is our bleeding cycles. This huge disconnect we've grown up with, denying this natural way of being, this natural way of life. There's so much to still learn, to travel the world, to meet these cultures in a real, authentic way. Joining in this gathering, we all have the opportunity to share something. So immediately we create a space of equality. We create this sense that we are all worthy of sharing something beautiful that we have learned, that we have knowledge that we've gained. So it's not just this experience that we come to this land and to this gathering, but we really go home and we start to show up differently in the workplace, in relationships, with our families. I hope to continue learning wherever we go and inviting all of you to come join us because we can't do it alone. We can keep showing up and uncovering this research that has been hidden and destroyed, but we need to gather in real life. We need to learn from one another. We need to rise up. We need to connect. We need to understand who we are and see how we can support one another as women. This is the time. This is the time to do it. It hasn't been safe for a long, long time to do it. But there's enough of us now with these movements of rising. And we need to reclaim some of our ancestry also. We need to look to the past and what wasn't told to us so that feminism isn't this new thing, it isn't this new sense of who we can be as women. We actually have always held this power. It's actually just been a perspective of seeing us as less than and not valuing who we are, to find our own way to step into the light, to be heard, to be seen, and show up for one another in community.